How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews, back with new brewery time. New brewery from Jersey time, at least for me. And that is Last Wave Brewing. It's their Quiver IPA. I've never had anything from these guys, and that's kind of criminal. Because I actually vacationed down here by this brewery this summer. When I went down with my wife, you guys would have, well, if you watch my channel, if you follow my channel, you would have seen that I did a bunch of reviews when I was down at the beach. I went down and stayed at Seaside Park, which is right next to Seaside Heights, which is about half an hour south of this brewery. I passed this brewery. I just didn't have time to get in there. They are from Point Pleasant, New Jersey. I was born in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Let's put it that way. Criminal that I haven't had anything from these guys yet, but this showed up at my local bottle shop, and I was like, hey, what better time than now to give these guys a whirl. Now, what is this? This is they call it Quiver IPA. It's a Medusa hopped, single hop, tropical, and they call out low bitterness, 6.7% alcohol by volume IPA. On the side here it says, a quiver refers to a surface collection of boards, each one there to handle different types of waves and conditions. This IPA honors that spirit as a hazy single malt, single hop beer that evolves over time. We use Quiver to showcase a different, unique hop that we find particularly intriguing. The third volume of 2019 features Medusa, a hop that oozes notes of peach, white grape, and melon. Yeah, there we go. Date on this sucker be the 13th of November, 2019, which would make this 3 weeks old. So it's very fresh. And on the bottom it says, to turn to stone when you are gone. I'm sure that's some kind of song lyric I don't get. So yeah, let's crack into this sucker. See what she's got. I will rectify going to this brewery soon. I'm actually going to go back down to the beach in the winter. I know a lot of people don't do that, but I have access to a house. So I'll go down this winter, and when I'm down there, I'll definitely stop by. Label-wise, it's alright. After reading the story, it makes much more sense with the amount of surfboards kind of on there. What doesn't make sense is that they're in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, not necessarily surf capital USA. Although I surfed when I was a kid, and everybody does there, but the waves are kind of tiny. Anyway, I mean, she looks all the part of a hazy, rich orange glow, just under a pinky finger of an infinitely creamy head. She looks the part of a new school kind of hazy IPA. Maybe even looks like it's a little bit bigger, because the way that orange comes off makes you want to think it's a little bit higher ABV than the 6% and change that they're calling out. So let's get a nose. Okay. This is very weed-like for me, and not weed like smoking weed, like pulling weeds. It's tomato stocky weediness, which is kind of weird because they call out low bitterness on here. And if I'm going to think of dankness, I'm not thinking of no bitterness. And that vegetal, stocky weed, pulling weed out of your garden kind of tomato stockiness is very much a bittering component for me. So that's kind of odd. I didn't expect that. I like it, but it's weird to see it kind of not called out on there. I mean, there's soft melon vibes in there. Soft melon. Like, it's almost like the melon is like it's like a mango skin, like cantaloupe melon mix, because the way that kind of tomato stockiness comes off, you can attribute that to the skin of a melon, to the skin of a mango, that kind of thing, where you get that kind of bitterness off of those two. You can kind of get there with that. So I can get down with the kind of melon component in there. What was the other thing they called out? Tropical? I mean, that kind of goes hand in hand with that. But yeah, I like how it smells. It's just not what I expected based off of what I read off the label. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, that bittering leads the way with that kind of vegetal green tomato stocky portion and show. A little bit of soft mango in there. Not sweet, not overly bittering. But it's not sweet at all. It smells interesting. Let's dive in. Cheers. Okay. That is bitter. It's not overly bitter, but it's way bit more bitter than you expect when it's called out as low bitterness on the label. The tropical fruit melon thing is on point. That's what you're getting there. You're getting a rich kind of cantaloupe vibe, overly ripened kind of cantaloupe in a very fun way. But what is leader in the pack is that tomato stocky vegetal green thing. It is cool. I dig it. I like when beers do it. Not a lot of people do that. And if it wasn't written on here, low bitterness, I wouldn't even be talking about this, but that has me so kind of jumbled in the brain that it calls out low bitterness, even though this is like exactly opposite of that. Listen, This is just me guessing, but I'm guessing they ordered the label before they tasted the beer. That's my guess. You kind of have to do that sometimes, which is totally okay. And maybe the hopping process produced that green portion, that kind of tomato stockiness wasn't supposed to be there. I'm okay with it. I like how this beer is tasting. This is actually pretty tasty stuff. I like that aggressive kind of tomato stockiness. I like that melon underneath. It's got a really nice mouthfeel to it. It's enough sweetness to kind of work with that tomato stockiness, but it doesn't get overly sweet, which I really appreciate, especially in today's kind of hazy New England style IPA world. And if you're talking about a single malt, they call it single malt, which is weird. Single malt, single hop beer. I don't know if they actually call out the malt in here. You figure that they're going out of the way to do a single malt, single hop beer, that they would call out the actual malt too. That's the whole portion of the show here. But they don't. But whatever. It's all good. Yeah, I like it. I think it's tasty. I think the way that hop comes off, even though it's called out as a different thing on the label, the way it expresses itself is quite fun. It's kind of, I think tomato stock is that ranky-danky onion thing that you get on a lot of Mid-Atlantic IPAs, but this has come off kind of that tomato stocky way. It might not be a lot of people's cup of tea, but it works for me. And that tropical fruit being underneath it without getting overly sweet just really works for me, and you cap it all off with a really nice mouthfeel. I like it. I'm a fan. I dig this beer. So let's talk about it. Is this one of the better easy IPAs I've had as of late? It's in the conversation. It's not towards the top. It's not King Shit or Fuck Mountain. But it's tasty. I like it. I dig it. And honestly, for a first take